At 29 and I find myself wondering, what did happen to the last 10? I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. One day I'll be yours. One day I'll be yours.
Hey guys, how are we today? How are we doing today? Hey FarQ, how are you? It's good to see you. And Nature Rocks, how you doing, Van? And Jennifer, how are you? I'm so glad to see you guys. And everybody on replay, I get it seems more people come in on the replay than during the lives, but you guys hit the subscribe and notification and come and join us when we're live, because I'm not being biased or anything, but I really have an awesome group of people that come here. They're my peeps, all my peoples. I I I was gonna go live yesterday. I had planned on it, and I was having really bad problems with my neck. I think it's where I pushed my wheelchair so much, and I was having a lot of trouble with my neck. But the so much has happened since yesterday and just today. Um, I know, Van. I know. I'm so very sorry. Um, you guys, have you guys been? Today we're gonna talk about the Brinks, and it they were just murdered last Saturday. So all of this has happened just since Saturday. But first, there is something that's really, really urgent that I need to talk to you guys about. Have you guys heard about the baby that was found in a yard in its car seat in Tennessee a few days ago? They It was I believe it was the 29th. Let me pull up my notes here. Let me show you guys right quick, because this is urgent that we need to get out information pronto. I So I have been studying this case at the same time that I was studying the one that we're going to talk about today, because I just saw a notification on Facebook, and the Dyer County yeah, FARQ, it's awful. The Dyer County Sheriff's Office, they made a post of a picture of this beautiful baby, and her face is still all over the news, and I'm going to try not to show it. I'm going to try my very best not to show it, but she's an absolutely beautiful baby, and she's 7 months old, and they posted her photo and said, does anybody recognize this baby? She was found at 3 p.m., and it was 99 degrees at that time, and they said the heat index, one of the neighbors comes on camera and she said the heat index was about 113. And for Q, I don't know what that would be in Celsius, but it's like major, major, major hot. And little babies, their skin is really sensitive anyways. And oh no, Van. Yes, you stay safe. We'll be fine right here. You don't worry about us. You stay safe. um don't be scared, be prepared, right? But little babies, their skin is so sensitive, and I'm no MD or anything, but in my mind, I would think that they would dehydrate faster because their bodies are so little, you know. But luckily, somebody saw them drop off the baby, and so they were able to get to it right away. And then I think just by 5 p.m., they had identified who the baby was, but they were looking for the parents, of course, right? Because, um, oh, that's about 43. Yeah. Yeah. Majorly hot. Um, so they were looking for her parents. And you guys, when I looked, thank you, Jen. How you doing, Jennifer? Are you off work today? Um, and so they were looking for her parents. And when they had put out like a bolo for her parents, and when I found their Facebook pages, her parents were only 20 and 21 years old, and their whole Facebook were pictures of this little girl. And it's not like, the mom has more pictures than the dad was in all the pictures too. Hey Tony, happy Thursday, how are you? It's good to see you. I'm always glad to see all you guys, each and every single one of you. Okay, okay, Jen, you be safe too. Um, and like I was saying, the dad was in, all the pictures too with the mama. And young parents get a bad rap sometimes, and sometimes also you can say, well, social media isn't the truth. People portray a different side of themselves, but that was not the case here. These two loved their baby absolutely. So, hey, Wolfie, how are you? Good to see you. We're talking about the baby that. Hey, Eddie, good to see you too. Good to see you guys. We're talking about the baby that was found abandoned in Tennessee. And so that was around 5 p.m. And that night into the next morning, they found her mom and dad, and her mom's mom, so her mama, and her uncle, who's just 15 years old. They found them all deceased, you guys. And it wasn't where the baby was found. It was about 40 miles from where the baby was found. Hey, Nicole, good to see you. Um, it was about 40 miles from where the baby was found, and they were in their vehicles. So that came out next. And then they did a press conference yesterday, and not a whole lot came out. But today, you guys, just like a few hours ago, they have a suspect. Let me show you guys the suspect. And he is 28 years old, I think. So let me show you guys what came out about 12 p.m. And now he's on the most wanted list. It says from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. And you guys, I did put this one. I haven't put the most wanted flyer on my communities tab yet, but I did put this. So if you guys could share this, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And like I always say, you don't have to share my channel, just share the information. And I did put a link straight to this Facebook post, so you could even go there and share it on Facebook. Hey, Teacup Kraken, good to see you. Oh, me too, Wolfie. Like, whoever did this, and it's awful what they did, but at least they had enough heart and sense not to hurt the baby. But the baby can't talk, probably is why, you know. Um, so it says suspect wanted in deaths of 4 people in Lake County. Public safety alert. We need your help to find Austin Robert Drummond. DOB 8/31/1996. So he'll be 29 here in exactly a month, right? The suspect wanted by TBI and the Lake County Sheriff's Department for first-degree murder, kidnapping, and other charges in the ongoing investigation into the deaths of 4 people. He's 5 foot 10 inches tall, 190 pounds, with brown hair, blue eyes, and a goatee. His appearance may have been altered. The 29-year-old is believed to be driving a 2016 Audi A3 with Tennessee plate RI 01896. The vehicle has damage to the driver's side, so that'll be a good thing to look out for. And also, you guys, the babies, Wolfie, I don't know if what you're talking about, but it reminds me of the rodent killings that were in Ohio, where I think it was 8 people were murdered. I don't know if that's the same one you're thinking of, but that's the one it reminds me of. And also, you guys, Matthew's truck. I'll show you guys his truck too. His mama says that it's missing. And so I'm not for sure why they think he's driving this car instead of the truck, but I'll show you the truck too just to keep an eye out for that too. Um and damage to the driver's door, so that's good to put in your brain too. It says he should be considered armed and dangerous. Spot him, do not approach. Call 911 or 731-415-7962 or 731-333-0811 or 1-800-TBI-FINE. That's the one to remember. It says special agents from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, in coordination with a variety of local, state, and federal authorities, have identified a suspect charged in connection with a quadruple homicide in Tiptonville. TBI agents obtained warrants for Austin Robert Drummond, charging him with 4 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of aggravated kidnapping, 4 counts of felon in possession of a firearm, and 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. At this time, Drummond remains at large and should be considered armed and dangerous. Anyone with any information concerning his whereabouts is asked to call those numbers again or 1-800-TBI-FIND. At the request of 29th District Attorney General Danny Goodman, TBI special agents began investigating the crime that occurred Tuesday along Carrington Road in Tiptonville. The deceased have been identified as James M. Wilson. So that's the baby's dad, and he went by Matthew. Um, oh yeah, they were Wolfie. Yeah, they were in the trailer homes. Yep, you're right. So we're thinking about the same one. Yep, Wolfie. Yep. She says, wasn't it a whole family that killed them? Mom, dad, and kid or kids. Yep, it was the mom and dad and the 2 brothers. And then the 2 mammals got in trouble too. I remember that now. The 2 mammals, I forget what they were charged with, but they got in trouble too. Yeah, the whole group of them. So, see, guys, Matthew, he was just 21, and Adriana Williams, that's the baby's mama. She was just 20. Courtney Rose is Adriana's mama, so the baby's mama. She was just 38. Oh my gosh, you guys, she was younger than me. Oh my goodness. And then Braden Williams, who is Courtney's son and Adriana's brother. He was just 15, you guys. Agencies working along the TBI in this case include the Tiptonville, and then it gives all the names and stuff like that. So let me show you guys the pictures. Um, so he will, what did I say? He'll be 29. He looks older than 29. And let me show you the car. This is the car, an Audi. And they said damage to the driver's side door. Remember, guys. And then this is Matthew's truck, and it's still missing too. So I did want to show you guys that too. Um, and then this I got from his Facebook, and it's like a side profile. So I figured it would be good if, hey, Music City Mom, how are you? Good to see you. And Miss W, good to see you too. Okay, I hope you have a good day at work. Wolfie, no, they haven't said any motive yet. So, and then that's a picture with a hat on. And this, you guys, I'm not for sure what he was in prison for. I'm still trying to figure that out. But he just got out September of last year. And I'm not sure what kind of prison he was in where he could take pictures. He was taking like all kinds of pictures, and he had like a projector and a TV and everything at this prison. So I'm not sure, but I also wanted to show you guys this. Excuse me. Hang on a second, guys. I gotta blow my nose. Hang on. My allergies are like killing me today. Sorry, guys. I know you guys don't want to hear that. But so this was the cake that they had for his coming home party, and it says it's got all these numbers like 16 to 28. So are they saying he was in prison for all those years or what? That's what I'm wondering. But so I thought that was kind of crazy. Let me see if I got any more pictures of him. Nope, I think that's all. But and then they said right here after that post that I just read you guys, it gives his description again, and it says he's been added to a reward up to 2,500 is being offered for information leading to his arrest. And then they put him on the TBI's most wanted. So I'll share this on my community tab when we get done here, you guys. So I wanted to share that with you guys right off the bat because I have been ever since I saw that little baby on the sheriff's Facebook page, and she was just abandoned. It like broke my heart. And when they were looking for her parents, everybody was saying they loved that baby. Something is wrong. Something is bad wrong. And they were right. Nicole says it's really disappointing the amenities some prisons offer to inmates. They should not get TVs and tablets, etc. I don't think so either. I understand that it can be used to keep them quiet and keep them on good behavior and things like that, but we know that our veterans and they don't get that good of a treatment and things like that, and we know that a lot of prisons are privately owned and it's about money. So I agree with you 1000%. um so let me get pulled up today what we're going to talk about, the Brinks. And so much has happened since I've been looking into this case too. And a lot of misinformation has been put out. There was the press conference might actually still be going on. There was one last night after he was captured, and then there was another one that was still going on when I came here to talk to you guys. But hey, Miss Robinson, good to see you. Um, oh, really? That reminds me. What's that? Bert Burton Staggs, is that his name on Facebook? The fellow from Tennessee. He said that the way that Austin knew them was so Courtney. Remember, she is Adriana's mama. Well, they said that Austin was in a relationship with her sister. So that could very well be how they met, Miss Robinson. Thank you for reminding me about that. Um, so, uh, what I was saying about the Brinks, the press conference that I had to leave to come see you guys, and we'll watch it too. But they said that the little girls, so Kristen and Clinton, I want to tell you guys about them first, but I want to mention this first. They said that the two little girls that survived the attack, 7 and 9, that they are reading what is being put online and they are watching things. So I know that in our community, some people think, well, there no none of the family's ever going to watch our little channels and things like that, but you never know. You never ever know. And these kids are, so please remember that. And they said the wild theories and accusations are really hurting them. So please, please, please remember that, you guys. And even not just creators, you guys, when you comment and things like that, they could be reading that too. All you guys are good. All you guys never do things like that. But I'm talking about if somebody comes across this later, for those type of people. But so let me tell you guys a little bit about our victims today first. So this is Clinton and Kristen, and they were engaged back in July 4th, actually, of 2013, and then they were married on September 7th, 2014. um, Clinton brought a little girl to the relationship, and this is her here, I would assume, but I did. She's an adult now, but I still felt it was right to blur her face. But I'm going to read you a lot of the family. See, she's an adult here, and I think this was a very recent photo. It was actually, Kristen posted it on this Father's Day, June 15th. And let me read you guys the caption that she said. She said, Happy Father's Day to one amazing father. He works so hard for his family, and I know the girls love him so much. Love you, baby. And it was I love flowers. Hi, how are you? Oh, I see. I know you. I know you, Miss Sunflower. Okay, I hope you have a good day. Um, and so a lot. I haven't heard any of the other families speak, but I did find a lady on X, and she says that she has known Clinton since he was a young child. Um, they were Clinton was 43 and Kristen was 41, I believe. Um, and so he brought a young daughter to their relationship, and then they had two young daughters together. And they were 7 and 9, and they were with their parents that day on the trail. Um, so what I was telling you guys was I haven't found you guys know when I do my live streams, I like to talk about the victims, their personalities, and things that a lot of us, we read things and watch things, and it seems like a movie, sometimes, but we have to remind ourselves that these are real people. So that's what I try to do. I try to bring them back to life, so to speak. But in this instance, I couldn't find a whole lot, but I did find an aunt. She has been married to Clinton's uncle for 30 something years, I think she said. And she shared the photo that I just shared with you guys, some of these photos, because on Kristen's Facebook, a lot of things were friends only, and so she shared them. But I would like to read to you guys what she said. So let me see here. Let me see if I can go straight. I'll do it this way. It says, please share to find this psycho monster. So this was before he was found. She says, expatriates, do your thing and find the horrible monster that did this to our beautiful nephew and his wife. You can see they love the outdoors and hiking. Saturday was not their first time at Devil's Den State Park. Um, when I am researching a case, you guys, I don't. Hey, Starlight, good to see you. How are you? Happy Thursday. When I'm researching a case, I don't watch other creators cover it, because I don't want to accidentally copy somehow, or get their, if they have misinformation, I don't want to put it into my brain too. But I watched about 5 minutes of another creator, and they were saying that it didn't look like they were hackers, and things like that, or they were theorizing that it could be a drug deal gone bad and things like that. And so this post shoots a lot of that down, I think. I'm doing well. Thank you so very much for asking. I am. So this shoots a lot of that down. She says, I've known Clint since he was a child because I married his uncle 32 years ago. We were at their wedding. Remember, I told you guys they were married in 2014, so 11 years ago. Um, and their first baby shower. We purchased a mobile home from Clint in 2013 in another state. He was a very nice, hardworking young man, full of life. She was the best mother to their girls and to Clint's daughter, who is now grown. Four words for Kristen: beautiful, sweet, strong, and loving. At one time, she sold those paper like press on nail polishes while working and later obtained her nursing degree, yet took wonderful care of their family. So did Clint. Let me find the rest of that. Yep. So they had just moved from South Dakota to Clint delivered milk, and I didn't know what Kristen did until I read this post, and it says that she. I know what I forget the name of those nail polish tabs that you put on. Miss Robinson said, as long as we talk about them, they are never forgotten. You are exactly right. Exactly right. And I know it's kind of morbid to think about, but I think about like if I pass on, you know, my first what I want people to have good things to say about me. So I try to make that my motto to live a good life, and people say good things about you, leave a good impression on people, basically. You guys feel me? So I forgot the name of those press on nail tabs. It's where you don't have to paint your nails. uh raz it's like raspberry or blueberry or something like that, but I think I know what she's talking about. So she's saying that Kristen sold those to help pay for nursing school. And you guys, I found a comment from somebody who, um, a patient of Kristen's too, that we'll read after this. But this is the rest of that post. Let me see. It says, it's easy to recall when he met her, how he lit up. She immediately became a great stepmom to Clint's daughter. They were perfect for each other. They weren't on drugs. There was no jealous ex. They weren't hiding under witness protection or any other silly theory going around everywhere. Imagine getting the call and hearing such horrid news. Imagine hearing the poor girl's stories and what this will do to them. Pray for my sister in law, Clint's father, all siblings, Kristen's parents, all family, and especially their three daughters. And then she's telling everybody to go to YouTube Tony Bruschi. And we'll talk about him too. He actually got into a little bit, um, the police had something to say about him on the press conference last night. So, and then I don't want to zoom in on these photos because I don't think I blurred those out, but it's showing that they were actually at Devil's Den on June the 10th. So this is at least the second time that they've been there. Um, Nicole says Color Street, maybe. I think I know what you're talking about, but not sure if that was the one she did. Oh, I'm not sure either. I really don't know, but I have it in my brain. I'll probably think about it when we end. It'll come right to me. That's usually the way it goes. But it seems like they did this a lot because on June the 10th they did a 4 mile trail. And so 7 and 9 year old little girls, if this was their first time going hiking, I don't think they could have done that. He would have at least been packing one or both of them, I think. So it seems like something that they enjoyed together a lot as a family. um, Miss Robinson says our material things will fade away, but the memories we leave will last through the years. Absolutely, absolutely. And I saw a saying the other day. It says that being present is better than giving presents to your children. It was something like that, not verbatim, but that has stuck in my mind ever since I heard it too, and that is so true, so very true. Um, and this was on Facebook, and it says, I'm truly at a loss for words. I cut out her name but it says, which is never like me. As much as we have all been connected to the horrific tragedy that happened at Devil's Den and are now left feeling petrified in what should be our beautiful home, my heart is completely shattered, knowing who one of the victims was. I just met Kristen Brink this past week in the ER. She was my nurse. She talked to me about her daughters, and I talked to her about mine. She gave me such relief, reassuring me that I was doing everything right and that everything was going to be okay, even though I was so sick and nobody to help me. She held my baby. She didn't put her down until I was ready to hold her again. When I left, I told her how good it was to meet her and that I hoped to see her again someday. Aww. Well, I believe that we will one day. I watch one of my moderators, Trista. She's probably listening to us at work today, but she goes in person to a church, and I watch it on Facebook every Sunday. And the preacher, he always says that we'll see our loved ones. They're sitting on the front porch of heaven, and there's no more tears in heaven, so they're not sad. And he says he hates to break it to us, but they're not missing us because there's no sadness there. They're just sitting on the front porch of heaven, just waiting for us. And so I always try to think about that when I get sad about people passing, or when I hear stories like this. It makes me feel better to think of that vision in my brain. But she said she had told Kristen that she hoped to see her again one day, and so that just reminded me of that. Um, Not now knowing I never will, it's devastating. I am praying endlessly for her daughters and her entire family. I want them to know that in the 6 hours I spent with her, Kristen was one of the loveliest, most caring women I ever met. And so I wanted to share that with you guys, and that's about all that I have about them, before this tragedy happened to them. And now we're getting, oh, I do have one more video that I want to show you guys. They had moved from South Dakota to Arkansas. But before that, I think that I found a video and it said they both went to high school in Bakersfield, Kern County, California. I believe that's in California, and it tells a little bit about their high school days. And I thought it would be good if we watched that too. So let me get that. And I always share the links to the videos that I play so that you guys can watch them later if you want to.
Hike turns into a nightmare as we're learning the gruesome double murder of a couple in Arkansas has Kern County ties. Meanwhile, investigators are learning why the couple was killed. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rochelle Murcia.
And I'm Michael Patterson. Arkansas State Police are currently searching for the person who killed a mother and father while they were hiking with their children.
Eyewitness News reporter Solomon Ludvanka has been diving into the background of the couple and is learning they once lived here in Kern County. Solomon?
Yeah, Michael Rochelle. In Arkansas's Devil's Den State Park on Saturday, Clinton Brink and his wife Kristen and their daughters were hiking when the couple was attacked. When police arrived, the daughters were safe, but Clinton and Kristen had died. According to public records, Clinton and Kristen attended high school here in Bakersfield.
Be advised, this just occurred at Devil's Den. Unit still en route. Attacked a male and a female on Devil's.
I tried to go back on Broadcastify and get the the dispatch audio, but you have to set up an account and get premium and all this to get any back in the archives. But I watched this other video that played a lot of it, and I made notes so I can read to you guys what it says. It said the first call came in a little before 2:30 p.m. and it said assault and possible stabbing at that time. And when we watched the press conference today that happened today, they said that the cause of death was stabbing. And I also heard, you guys, there was one video that I saw where they said that it was a news video too from a news agency, and they said that Kristen had taken her girls to the car and went back to help her husband. And that's not exactly true. They said today that she didn't make it back to the car, but she tried to take them away to safety, but not to the car. They said we'll have to listen to the exact words, but she did go back to try to help him, and that makes me really sad too. But so it said, and then the next part, it was over the dispatch audio said white male wearing black gloves, sunglasses with dark colored pants, and a dark colored tank top. And later they updated it to a long sleeve shirt with sleeves rolled up. Um, it said he took off in a small black sports car with taped over plates. The direction of travel went across the bridge, leaving Devil's Den, and stayed on the highway. And then over the intercom, over the audio, it says we're all sweeping the trail, me, and I've got a maintenance person with me, interpreter with first aid kits, trying to locate the family. And then less than an hour into the search, it says here, yelling, calling for help, we're hiking down. And then it says 10-4, we're hearing them too at towards the end of the lower part of the Devil's Den trail. And it says trying to relay to the office. That was another problem, you guys. There's no cell phone service in this area at all. So they were having trouble with that. And he says he's trying to relay it to the office. So we found the victims down here. They're on the lower Devil's Den trail, where I've got two bodies, and so they were deceased. They were beyond help when help got there. So I wanted to tell you guys what I heard on that.
Den hiking trail, and then took off in a small black sports car with tape over the plate.
That was police dispatch Saturday when Arkansas State Police say they were looking for a suspect that killed 43-year-old Clinton Brink and 41-year-old Kristen Brink, who had just moved to Prairie Grove from another state. Police initially received a call about a possible assault on the trail. When officers arrived, they heard screams in the distance. By the time they found the family, it was too late.
There are cop cars all around there, and we're a little concerned, and we went up to the visitor center because we're trying to get some merch, some stickers, and they said that they couldn't say anything but that everything was closed for an emergency. We then went over by, it was a creek trail of some sort, and a park ranger said that they had an active scene, but she didn't say anything else.
According to Clinton's Facebook page, he and his wife lived in Bakersfield. People associated with the couple say that Clinton attended Foothill High School, while crosstown Kristen Trent played volleyball for Liberty High School. Trent went on to have a successful volleyball career at Cal State University, San Bernardino. According to records, she was named to first team all-conference in 2004 and holds records at the school.
I feel guilty, really, for being here.
Oh, so she was a really good volleyball player, even in college, I think they said. That's good to know, too.
And it's like you want to have fun, but you don't want to have fun because you know what's happened. You just never know. You never know. And I think the hardest part is not having cell service.
Arkansas State Police have released a sketch of a person of interest in the murder. Investigators aren't saying how they were killed, but their deaths are being investigated as a double homicide. The couple's 7- and 9-year-old daughters were not hurt and are now with family members. And we're still learning more details on the couple and their ties to Bakersfield. Continue to stick with Eyewitness News as they come in.
So the first call came in at around 2:40, I think is the last timeline that I saw. Another thing, guys, is that a lot of information comes out. A lot comes out fast at first, and it's hard to decipher what's true and what's not true. So I've filled my brain full of what I could, but I could still be wrong. So if you guys don't be afraid to speak up if I get something wrong. And I always tell you guys, double check me and everybody else that you listen to, even newscast, for sure. So that was at 2:40, and they didn't end up putting a description out of the perpetrator until 8:40 that night. And the the Arkansas State Police, they did issue a little statement of why that it took so long. And it says the location is a remote rural part of Arkansas. It took time for our special agents to arrive on scene, locate witnesses, and collaborate information so we could release the appropriate information. So that's what they're saying is why it took 6 hours. But people are very upset about that, and I don't blame them, because if that it was very dangerous, they needed to know these things as fast as possible. So I just wanted to mention that. And so that was on Saturday. And then on Sunday, the police identified Clinton and Kristen and announced the case is being investigated as a double homicide. So then on Monday is when that sketch came out. And today they said that the sketch was based on the girls. And then there were, I think, one other witness that saw them. On Tony Bruschi's YouTube page, he did play an interview with some people that saw them that thought that they saw him, and they said that they were right. They said he was in his 20s and that he had blue or green eyes, and we're gonna see how right they were. So that was on the Monday that the sketch came out. So then Tuesday, they released this image from the back, and they said that this is surveillance from the park. And so that came out on the 29th. And then yesterday, the 30th, is when they made the arrest. And another thing, you guys, let me show you this too. So the Arkansas State Police, and last night, when this came out, I had to change my title, right? Because I always set my live streams up the night before. So I changed it, and I had put James Andrew McGhann at first, and then I changed it to Andrew, and then I seen somebody else, another news site even, and they had it Andrew James. So I changed it again. But anyways, his name is James Andrew McGhann. And they corrected that today. It says previous information listed the suspect's name as James Andrew McGhann. It has been corrected to Andrew James McGhann. Special agents with the Arkansas State Police have arrested Andrew James McGhann, 28, of Springdale, in connection to a double homicide that occurred on Saturday, July 26, 2025 at Devil's Den State Park. And I want to show you guys this. I had one of my wonderful friends. They helped me a lot with this case. Remember, I was telling you guys last time. FARQ says, was that the people who also said he gave them a death stare? Yep, that was them. Yep, that was them. But one of my friends helped me. Remember, I was telling you guys last time that with the Emily Pike case, one of my friends lived in that area and helps me a lot. And then you guys are always so great to help me. And usually I don't even have to ask. And that's true with this case as well. Somebody helped me so very much with this case. And she can tell you guys and help me with anything in the chat if she wants to, but I'm not going to out her if she wants to stay quiet. But she helps me make this, she made this map for me. And see, Prairie Grove is over here on the left. I'm not sure if you guys can see my mouse, but that is where the Brinks moved to. And down here is Devil's Den Trail. But up here is where Andrew lived and where he was arrested at Lapita's Beauty Salon. So that's up here. And I think it's about a 30-minute drive away. And so that's where they found him at. And he was charged with we can see this right here. And let me show you guys she helped me with a lot of this, you guys. Capital murder, 2 charges of capital murder. And I was wondering also if he would be, a lot of people also said that his intent might have been to kidnap the girls. But today in that press conference, they said they didn't think that that was true. And I'll tell you guys now, he did admit to it. They said today in the press conference he did admit to it, and um, they also said that he was injured when he killed the Brinks, and blood was left at the scene. So when he was arrested yesterday, they got his DNA that fast back and said it did match. And so that makes me know that a lot of times when they say in these cases, well, it takes a while for DNA to come back. Well, I don't think so, because it was less than 24 hours that this came back, right? And this is his profile pic from Hinge. And look how evil he looks in this picture. And I didn't know what Hinge was, but it is a this is what it says, that it's a dating app designed to be deleted once users find a meaningful connection, and it is free. I heard that. But it says, unlike many other dating apps, Hinge focuses on building more authentic and deeper relationships by using prompts and features that encourage conversation and getting to know someone beyond just swiping based on physical appearance. Well, I don't know anybody that would swipe right on this kind of picture, because I just get the most awful vibe from that. And also, this is, let me find the other picture. And I know it's kind of petty of me, but he was 5 minutes into his haircut, and this was the picture that they showed. And so I'm kind of glad that it didn't. Teacup Kraken says, I find it interesting that he chose to go to a salon rather than cutting them himself. Great point. And the lady said that, I do have an interview from her too. She said that he wouldn't sign the book when he came in. So he didn't even want to sign that. And she said that he didn't want much taken off the top. He just wanted the sides done. And that's a very good point. True, true, Kraken. She says at least he posted a picture that probably repelled most women. I know, right? Hopefully. Um, and so, but they also, so they posted that picture, the one with the hair like that. But then they also see this picture they posted. It looks like he has that perm that all the youngins are getting these days. So I'm not sure about these two pics, but they absolutely, some are posting this picture and some are posting this picture. So I'm confused about that. But oh, I forgot to tell you guys that he is a teacher. He graduated from with a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education at Oklahoma State University in 2022. And what I can find is that after that, he went to Texas, and he was teaching at Texas at Donald Elementary. And I'll show you guys what a lady posted about what happened at Donald Elementary. But I have this, and it says, hello, my name is Andrew McGhann. I'm very excited to join the Dolphin family as a fourth grade math and writing teacher. So on one news video. Hey Trista, how are you? I hope you're having a good day too. Um, so they said that he did have teaching licenses in Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas, and they were for elementary and middle school. And he's taught math, science, and writing. His first year of teaching in Texas, he was placed on leave due to misconduct allegations. He resigned on his own after he was put on leave. So that was at this school, I believe. And it says, I'm very excited to join the Dolphin family as a fourth grade math and writing teacher. I graduated from Oklahoma State University, Go Pokes, in May with a BS in elementary education. I have been a substitute for the past 2 years in Tulsa County, Oklahoma, and a student teacher for the spring 2022 semester in Broken Arrow Public Schools in a fourth grade math and science classroom. This is a year of first for me, a year first teaching first year in LISD and first year living in Texas. I think LISD is an excellent place to build a career and a life for myself, as that is my intention in coming here from Tulsa, Oklahoma. My favorite thing to do in my free time is exercise, specifically running. I played football, baseball, and rugby in high school, so I love sports. I have heard there are some runners in the dolphin family, so show me where the good trails are at, since I'm in need of a go to running trail. How freaky is that, you guys? He mentions trails in this 2022. So he's mentioning running trails back then. I'm also a big animal lover. Cats are my favorite animals. My cat Con in the picture with me, but don't worry, dog moms. I love dogs too. I am honored to be a part of your team, and I can't wait to meet my students, fellow staff. Go Dolphins. That just gives me the creeps reading that, you guys. Um, yes, Nicole says he was supposed to start his job at the school today. Lord, I'm so glad he was caught before he ever had contact with any kids here. Absolutely, absolutely. I have been praying all day that I'm so glad that that didn't happen. Um, and this is from the school that he was supposed to start today. And this is from June the 12th. It says, our third grade team has a new addition to help us welcome Mr. McGhann. Hello, my name is Drew. So he's going by Drew McGhann here. I am thrilled to be a part of the Baori team this year as a third grade teacher. I have 3 years of certified teaching experience and a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education from Oklahoma State University. In my free time, I love going to concerts with friends, working out, and being outdoors. So again, he mentions being outdoors. I look forward to being an asset to the Baori family this year and living in the gorgeous state of Arkansas. And this is a picture from that. His hair looks darker here, but it could just be the lighting. I'm glad that my picker isn't so broken that I can still get vibes from pictures, because he does not give off a good vibe at all. So now I wanted to play for you guys a interview from the hairstylist, and she's going to talk about when they came in and arrested him.
From 5 News, this is breaking news.
This afternoon, we're expecting new information from Arkansas State Police as they investigate the deadly attack at Devil's Den State Park.
Yeah, welcome to 5 News Plus. Our team is, of course, all over this right now. There is a news conference that is scheduled.
They played this right before the news conference, and we'll watch that next, you guys.
For 2 o'clock today at the State Police Headquarters in Little Rock, not in Lowell like it was last night at 9:30, but this time it'll be down in Little Rock. We'll, of course, bring that to you live. This all began last night with a post from a stylist at a salon that thought at the time had taken video or was cutting the hair of the suspect. We went out and visited with her earlier this morning. We're going to hear from her coming up here in just a few minutes and get an insight as to what she was going through last night, especially after she posted that video to her Facebook page.
Yes, and of course, police now have confirmed that they did arrest him at that salon. Here's some of the latest information we have right now. We have the latest mugshot of 28-year-old Andrew McGhann. As we know, he was arrested around 5 last night at that hair salon in Springdale. He's in the Washington County Jail without bond, facing 2 charges of capital murder. Now, right now, we're learning that he was most recently a teacher in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. He was actually set to...
Let me show you guys from her Facebook, too, right quick. This is what, her name is... Oh, this was the video that she posted on her Facebook. I just recorded it, so in case that I couldn't get to it. So they are photographing the hair that she cut off there, and then she did say that they took it too. And then this is the car outside, and it does match what witnesses described. And they said today it was a Kia, some kind of Kia. So it says Adriana Ruiz Avalos, and it says, so I'm cutting a guy's hair and I'm shaking because now there's cops and detectives told them I haven't swept up the hair in case they need it, and they 100 said they did. Y'all, I'm shaking mostly because it's starting to look like it could be the man they're looking for, but not too sure yet. And so I wanted to show you guys that, but now we'll go back to her interview.
Start as a teacher at Springdale Public Schools this year. Our reporter Kayla Davis is gathering information right now from the neighborhood where McGhann was living, new to the area. She's told us neighbors saw a police presence at his home for several hours last night.
And we can tell you that when she visited the neighborhood, that there was a couple of folks that she was trying to interview. They would not go on camera. That he did live at the address there. Confirmed a huge police presence from 6 o'clock until 11 o'clock last night. And so what we're seeing here is the news video from the salon where the arrest was made last night. Here's what the stylist had to say after what happened last night.
I want to start off first by saying my condolences to the Brink family. My thoughts and prayers are with you all. I couldn't sleep last night thinking about them. And they'll always be in my heart to imagine those little girls. When I saw him, he looked pretty normal. Something did feel off about him. I noticed I was in the break room heating up my food for lunch, and I noticed a black car pulled up. The doors open, so I would see who would pull up. I came back up here, and I noticed the guy just standing over here. As soon as
on her Facebook, in one of the comments, she said that she hadn't been able to work much lately, and she was excited to go in that day because her baby's dad had kept the baby so she could go into work, and then all of this happens to her, and bless her heart. I feel really bad for her. Yeah, you guys, I'm not sure. I messaged back and it's showing on my phone, but it's not showing on my computer. You guys are asking if he has bruises or scratches, and I'm hoping that he really does. I am hoping that they fought for their life. They did. And so I'm hoping they got him really good, actually.
I saw him, something fell off about him. He looked pretty scary. He didn't look like he was okay. He was very timid. He was always with his head down, long hair covering his face. But I didn't want to speak up yesterday after seeing the photos because anything can change from when those pictures were taken, and he looked to be a lot slimmer, but as soon as I saw the pictures, I'm like, that's him. He just looks slimmer. Like I said, he was on the run. He probably didn't eat or took care of himself. He looked pretty confused. I don't know how to describe it. I saw him, his eyes just looked sunken, pretty kind of like soulless is what I could describe. He didn't want anything cut from the top of his head. He wanted to hide his face. He just wanted a fade on the sides. He didn't really know what he wanted, so I kind of explained to him what kind of haircut would go well with him, with what he had. Yeah, he just didn't want to touch anything from the top. Well, I was about 5 minutes into the haircut when a man pulled up and asking about whose car that was outside, and that's when he would tell him, I believe this is your car. And he just stood quiet. I guess he felt kind of scared. As soon as I saw the stickers of, the evidence and stuff, I knew something was wrong, and I asked if it was if it could be related to the Devil's Den incident, and they said it could have been. Yeah, it's been.
I'll show you guys some surveillance after this, and it looks like she was alone in the shop too. So he could have taken her hostage or anything. And I'm sure that that's probably going through her mind too, all that could have happened. So bless her heart.
Overwhelming. I've never been in a situation like this, so I just couldn't stop thinking about the little girls that saw his face. He's pretty scary, dark sunken eyes, but it feels like it's too much. I could only imagine the family, the Brink family, what they're going through. I saw the black car and I saw him. I'm like, okay, a couple things are checking out, but the way that he looked, it's what gave me the chills.
Not reading his name?
Yes, also with not wanting to write his name to sign in. I will say, just anyone take caution. These people can be among us. I would never realize that you could have someone in your chair that has done these horrible things, and just really be on the lookout and keep an open mind, and just try and be safe.
Now I will show you guys it's just a short minute, I think, that of surveillance at the salon.
This is actually a surveillance video of McGhann going into the salon.
Yeah.
And look, guys, he even looks skinnier than when the surveillance from the park from the back. It may just be that he had a backpack on then and he doesn't have one here, but I also have video of him being arrested at the when they were booking him, and he looks like a young kid actually. So he's lost weight in the few days that since this has happened, in my opinion.
To get his hair cut, which it's interesting that he went to get his hair cut during this time. We do know that he was about to start as a teacher at Springdale Schools, so maybe he was getting a haircut before orientation, which I think was today for teachers. Or, like she said, trying to cover his face, maybe a disguise. But this is, video of him inside the salon.
What we don't have just yet, and we're working to get right now, is the arrest. Now, you heard the
Yeah, you can cover up your face, dude, but there's no covering up or the evil that you did. No way.
stylists say that he was there 5, maybe 6 or 7 minutes when someone pulled up and said, "Whose car is this?" And we're waiting to get, right now we're working to get video of the actual arrest itself. And you can, or him in cuffs. Okay, well, we're trying to get the video of him being placed under arrest in handcuffs and then walked out of the building. My goodness, the reaction from her, I can't even imagine what she has been through the last 12 hours or so. I'm pretty sure she didn't wake up yesterday morning and whatever dreamed that she was going to be a part of this national story.
Just a normal day of work for her turning into this. Also seeing that video of her in there by herself.
Oh, there he is, they're handcuffing him and taking him out. This could have gone really, really bad, really sideways, really fast too. So I'm glad. I always pray when I share information about a perpetrator that hasn't been caught yet. I always try to ask you guys to pray that they're caught ASAP before anybody else gets hurt. And that's what goes through my mind, that a situation like this where he could have hurt her or a number of people before he gets arrested.
itself.
And here's the
looks
video
like.
of him actually being arrested. And I'm assuming this is state police or Washington County Sheriff's deputies that have come into that salon and then put McGhann under arrest. And he'll be taken, you'll see him being taken out. Of course, it doesn't show a lot of emotion here. It doesn't show a lot of no resistance at all.
She said in her Facebook post too that, well, as she said in the interview as well, it was just a few minutes in, and when they came in, he seemed to know why they were there. He didn't resist or have any questions for them.
So now I think that it would be okay, guys, if we just went ahead and watched the press conference that just happened, because the one that they did last night, they basically just announced his name and not a whole lot of anything else. Let me see if I took no. So I think that would be good if we just went ahead and watched that. Let me see here. The beauty salon, they also did a live stream or posted a video yesterday, but it's in Spanish, so I didn't have time to translate and see exactly what they were saying. So yep, I think it would be okay if we just went ahead and watched the press conference that just happened. There they have the interview with the hairstylist. First they did that on their live before the press conference started. Okay, let me come back and get you guys. And what I shared with you guys at the beginning about the baby, please help me pray for them too, you guys, that he's Austin is captured before anybody else gets hurt like this situation. Hopefully he's captured calmly, swiftly, and easily too.
CBS News also confirming during McGhann's first year of teaching in Flower Mound, Texas, he was put on administrative leave for an investigation into his professionalism. The district says he resigned from that position. We also know that McGhann taught at Broken Arrow Public Schools for the 2023-2024 school year. Back to you.
All right, Emma.
Did I read to you guys that post from the lady that I was reading to you guys about what happened in I don't think I showed this to you guys. It says Andrew McGhann was, and I blacked out the child's name. Well, I pinked it out. I marked it out so nobody could see it. But a lady wrote this on Facebook, and she says, let me make it bigger for you guys. So it was the cat picture. It was the school with the cat picture that I read to you guys. It says, was her child's fourth grade teacher when he was a student at Donald Elementary. Him and several classmates noticed inappropriate behavior from him towards several little girls in the class. It was reported to the principal, Heather Shorter, at the time, and he was allowed to resign without any consequence and even went on to continue teaching in another district. Finding out he went on to kill a couple in front of their two little girls is horrifying, and the fact that there were warning signs and he was continually allowed around children is a travesty. So hopefully this is looked into really, really good too. This is that was the school that I showed you guys where he had the cat picture and he was talking about this one. It was from that Donald Elementary, see? So that's what they're talking about here, I think.
Emily, thanks again. Just some scary moments when you think how close he became or close he came to starting a job at the Springdale School District.
And that he felt confident enough, again, walking around, going in, just in public places like this as well.
All right. McGhann is accused of killing 41-year-old Kristen Brink and 43-year-old Clinton Brink. The couple, as we all know, hiking on that trail at Devil's Den with their 2 daughters. Now, the children, thankfully, were not physically hurt. You heard Colonel Mike Hager last night becoming emotional when he was talking about the 2 daughters that survived that attack. We also learned the family had recently moved to Prairie Grove. Clinton had been transferred from South Dakota. He actually was supposed to start on Monday of this week at his new job in Fayetteville for Highland Dairy.
So Clinton was supposed to start his new job Monday, and Andrew was supposed to start his job today, and now 2 men aren't going to their jobs, and it's just for what? For what?
Yeah, delivering milk around the area.
Right.
Yeah. Well, a verified GoFundMe has raised more than $37,000 for the family. That number's gone way up even since
yesterday. Yes. This might be a mic check. He's checking he's doing a mic check. Live TV at its best right here, folks.
Let me find it for you guys.
And so what we're looking at here is the podium again that will have, I'm assuming, Colonel Mike. Let's listen into the news conference.
Good afternoon. I'm Colonel Mike Hager, Director of the Arkansas State Police and Secretary of Department of Public Safety. Appreciate you guys coming out this afternoon. We're going to just kind of go through some bullet point information, and I'm sure it's going to spawn a lot of questions. We're going to try to answer as many of those questions as we can. Want to introduce our partners. Well, actually, I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but we do have our 2 deputy directors, Lieutenant Colonel Mike Kennedy and Lieutenant Colonel Jason Aaron, that are with us. And
guys, I have 2 statements from 2 schools, but I don't have any statements from the school in Texas, Donald Elementary, so I may just not have found it, but I don't know. But I'll tell you guys what the Broken Arrow one says. They said the man who was arrested in Arkansas for the murders at Devil's Den State Park was a teacher for Broken Arrow Public Schools during the 23-24 school year. He was a 5th grade teacher at Spring Creek Elementary during the 23-24 school year and left of his own accord to work out of state. As with all employees hired by the district, he was subjected to and passed the required background checks prior to being hired. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family affected by this unimaginable act of violence. And then for the Springdale Public Schools, this is the one where he was supposed to start today. They said Springdale Public Schools can confirm that Andrew McGhann was a teacher candidate hired for the upcoming school year who has not yet begun employment with the district. This individual has not at any time come into contact with Springdale students or the families we serve. At this time, we cannot offer any additional information due to the ongoing investigation. At the appropriate time, additional information will be forthcoming. Our entire team extends our deepest condolences to the Brink family. Their children are especially in our thoughts and prayers, and that's from the superintendent of Springdale Public Schools. And also, there is a website. Let me see what it's called. us.boldpro. Let me show you guys. And it is it's kind of like LinkedIn. I looked it up, and that's kind of what it sounded like to me. But he had a so this is his, it tells a little bit, 2 years of professional experience, and he tells about the Broken Arrow Public Schools here, but he does, I don't know if no, his first job was in Texas, right? So he doesn't even list that job here. See, Broken Arrow Public Schools, and then he doesn't even list his first job. So that tells me that he wasn't wanting anybody to know about that either. Of course, if you get fired basically from a job, you wouldn't want to put that as your references. I thought that was interesting too.
I believe the rest of the people behind me will speak, and I'll let them introduce themselves. I want to start by thanking our investigators. It's hard to express the amount of time and effort and energy that goes into an investigation like this. You could see it on their face when we walked into headquarters last night, had the opportunity to see them, talk to them, thank them in person at the culmination of this. They're absolutely exhausted. They put every bit of their heart and soul into this investigation to get this suspect brought into custody and taken off the streets, and I cannot thank them enough for that. Also want to thank our law enforcement partners. We are truly blessed in Arkansas. It's not always common, and that's unfortunate, but we have a relationship with our state, local, and federal counterparts that's second to none. There was an incredible amount of cooperation and collaboration that went into this investigation. No part is less than any other's part. There's a total package that has to be looked at, has to be investigated, and these groups work together in a very impressive way, and we can't thank them enough. Not just on this case, but in every case that we work within state police. To have that partnership with them is really valuable. I want to thank the public for providing images and videos from cell phones, home, and business security footage that directly advanced this investigation. We'll talk a little bit more about how that played out, but the information that was put out and the request for information back from the public directly resulted in this person being brought into custody. It allowed our investigators a starting point to move forward and to use their skills that they've developed over the years and their experience to bring this person into custody. We had about 500 tips that came in through our phone lines, social media. Not only were there a lot of tips that came in, and we're very thankful for that, but there's a lot of people that have to field those tips. And it's not all badge-wearing, gun-toting members of the state police or Department of Public Safety. We had a lot of civilian personnel that were tasked with that. There was a lot of time and energy spent on triaging those tips and making sure they went to the right people. And so we owe a gratitude for that support staff that helped with this as well. Although everyone is innocent until proven guilty, we did confirm this morning that our suspect's DNA has been a positive match to the DNA that we suspect.
So, remember I told you guys at the scene of the murders, they did tell us that they thought that the assailant was injured, and the only way that they would know that, in my opinion, is if blood was left at the scene, and that's what he's about to tell us. And they go on to say that when they arrested Andrew yesterday, they got his DNA, and it's already came back that it was a match.
To belong to our suspect at the scene. During an interview with investigators, the suspect indicated that he did commit these murders.
Did you hear that, guys? He said that the suspect did say that he did commit these murders, so he's already confessed.
He executed a search warrant at his residence. During an interview with investigators, the suspect indicated that he did commit these murders. We executed a search warrant at his residence. There were articles found there that are consistent with being involved in this particular crime, and I will let Major Rhodes speak more of that, or more to those details. We do believe he acted alone. We have absolutely no reason to believe that there's anyone else involved, and we do not anticipate any future arrest or any other arrest beyond this suspect. I'm going to go ahead and pass off to Major Stacy Rhodes. She can walk through a little bit more of the information, and I'll return to the podium and we'll answer any questions we can. Thanks.
Well, good afternoon. As he indicated, I'm Major Stacy Rhodes. I oversee the Criminal Investigation Division for the State Police. And I kind of want to walk you through how we initiated and progressed through our investigation. So As you all know, we responded to a call for service at the state parks. Two young children were found and indicated that something had happened to their parents on the trail. That initial information that came from the kids gave us our first starting point, which was a description of a suspect. There was another.
FARQ says, if he has already confessed, does that mean no trial? He is guilty, or he can change his mind and go to court and plead not guilty. I'm really not sure about that. He could go ahead and plead guilty, or his lawyer could try to say, well, try to get the confession thrown out, and he could go to court, so it really depends. I'm really not too sure about that. Hopefully he does the right thing and it doesn't put those little girls through a trial. Oh my gosh, you guys, could you imagine if those two little girls had to testify, to be so close to evil and have to testify like that? Oh my gosh, that just hit my brain that that's a possibility. I pray that he pleads out as quickly as possible and he doesn't put those little girls through that. Oh, of course, FARQ, no problem.
Another witness at the park that we encountered that gave us additional information about the suspect and a particular vehicle that he was seen leaving the park. With that, we took the information, completed and let me kind of, we'll start there. So from there we had a pretty good description of our suspect. We did our initial release. Other witnesses came forward that were on the trail during the time that the murders occurred that did not see the murders, but brought forth video footage, photographs that they had taken on their day trip to the park. From that, we obtained a photo. We interviewed witnesses and were able to compile a composite sketch of what we believed our suspect looked like. With that, we received dozens and dozens of tips. With the initial vehicle information that we received, it being a black sedan, one of the initial descriptions was that it was sporty. From that, we received well over 5 or 6, maybe close to 10 videos of this particular car from homes and businesses along the routes in and out of the park. So we were able to ascertain a pretty good description of this vehicle. So with
my mama, she says that true crime isn't her thing, but I tell her about all the cases that I'm researching and things like that. And that was one thing she asked. She was like, doesn't anybody have doorbell footage? And so they did say they got 10, possibly 10. So that's good too. That's going to be, even though he covered up his license plate, I'm sure that there's still identifying characteristics about that car that can for sure put him here. And they did say that they were at his home yesterday from 6 to 10, I think, doing a search warrant. And they did say, well, we saw them. The hairdresser, she did post a video that they took the car away, of course, too. So that leads me to wonder what kind of evidence is going to be in that car, too. Hopefully it isn't like the Koberger case and no evidence is left behind in the car.
That vehicle information, that became critical in identifying our suspect. So with the photos or the tips that came in with the composite and the photo, as the colonel said, we received over 500 tips. And initially we were using the names and information to come out to compare with, did they have black vehicles? Did they meet a certain criteria of vehicles? But as we began to hone in on the vehicle, it became clear that it was a Kia Stinger. And we used that information to vet various owners. And our suspect was identified. And with that, we sought him out and we located him at a local barber shop there in Springdale. We took him into custody.
I do know that Arkansas has the death penalty, and they do say that that's that's definitely a possibility here, I believe. Nicole, you'll have to help me what they said about that. Maybe it was in last night's press conference, or they might say it here, but that is definitely a possibility with 2 counts of capital murder.
And with that, we, spoke to him, and he made statements indicating that he had committed these heinous acts. And our job didn't stop there. We executed a search warrant on his house and also on the vehicle. We are still waiting a lot of testing at the crime lab. But as the colonel said, DNA that was recovered at the initial crime scene matched his DNA that we pulled last night. Colonel, or I'm sorry.
Good afternoon. My name is Brandon Carter. I'm the prosecuting attorney for Washington County, Arkansas. The first thing I want to say here today is that my thoughts are with the Brinks family. There are 3 girls who tragically lost their parents in this case. And although today is a good day for law enforcement, there's a shadow over it because of the tragedy that occurred on Saturday. I want to commend the state police for the work they did in this case. I couldn't be more proud to be an Arkansan today. I couldn't be more proud to be a resident of Northwest Arkansas right now, and I'm confident and satisfied with the work that law enforcement did in this case. Especially, I want to note the cooperation I saw between local agencies in this case. I could name them all off, but I have a list here of 7 to 9 agencies that worked hand in hand to quickly solve this crime, and I commend every law enforcement officer that worked on this case. I also commend any member of the public that provided us information that led to the solving of this crime. I want the public to know that they're safe. The defendant in this case is innocent until he's proven guilty, but I'm confident that we have the right defendant in this case, and that the public need not worry going forward. Someday they're going to open Devil's Den State Park, and I'll be on the trail myself when that happens. The defendant will be spending time in Washington County Circuit Court over the course of the coming days. It is my intention to use the full weight of my office to bring this defendant to justice for the Brinks family.
Before we open for questions, just want to touch real briefly on something that gets lost in this sometimes, and that's the family story. We've spoken to the family quite a few times over the last several days, and what we heard consistently is what a loving mother and father they were.
He's getting ready to say what I was telling you about, that these 2 little girls have been reading what's been put online. So I hope that all creators take note of this and think about what you're putting out into the universe. Think about it before you say, think about your words and actions.
Loving husband and wife that they were towards each other. They absolutely protected those girls to their fullest extent, to the point that it cost them their lives. We're in awe of this mom and dad. We're also in awe of these girls. The information that they were able to provide to start us down this path, to be able to make this arrest, it all started with those 2 little girls. It's incredible. We also don't want to forget that there was a 3rd sister. Thankfully, she was not with the family on the trail that day, but she suffered just as tragic of a loss, and we need to keep that in mind. Because of that, I would plead with you and the public to please be sensitive to the fact that there's a family that's grieving. It's hard to express, because I can't understand it, what they're going through. Misinformation hurts. Speculation hurts. When they read things, when we talked to them earlier today, they expressed that to us, that they're reading things in social media, they're reading things that are just simply not true. People are speculating, they're talking about things that are not factual, and it hurts. There's no place for that. Along those lines,
There's absolutely no place for that. It's okay for us to speculate based on fact and state our theories and things like that, because why else would we have a live chat? Else would we have a chat on our live streams? But it's not okay to do a lot of the things that I'm seeing being done out here. It's absolutely not okay.
have to be very careful in an investigation to be calculated in the amount of information that we put out and when we put that out. I can tell you that this investigative team had one mission and one mission only, and that was to put hands on this suspect and to get him off the streets. And on a daily basis, we got together and we talked about what we felt like that we could put out to the public and what was going to be advantageous for us in the investigation and what could potentially be detrimental. One thing that we did not want to do is put information out that was going to take attention away from someone that we needed to look at. You have to remember all the information that we're working off of started with two little girls that witnessed the most horrific thing that you could ever imagine. That was the base of everything that we had. So we had to be careful about relying solely on that information. We had to collaborate that. We're also working in an environment that is half a mile into the woods. So by the time that we get the information from these little girls, and then we collaborate that with members from the public, they can talk or they can, give us further information based on the suspect description and things like that. And then that leads us to a vehicle, and then that leads us somewhere else. This is not an episode of CSI, and it's not going to be wrapped up in a 1-hour episode. It takes hours and hours to develop that information, corroborate that information, and know that it's good information, and know that it's something that we can put out. The last thing that we want to be responsible for is putting information out that's going to hinder the investigation or hinder someone's their likelihood of calling us and putting us onto a suspect that we need to be looking at because it didn't meet all the markers that we thought it should meet. So I hope you can be understanding of that, and I hope as we move forward from here that the speculation and a lot of the talk and a lot of the chatter, especially on social media, that people will be very sensitive to that. This family's been through enough, and they don't deserve to be victimized any further than they already are. And with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Colonel?
Yes.
Can you elaborate more on what was the reason behind this? What was the motive for this? Was this random, or what happened there? And what was the cause of death? How were they killed?
As far as the motive is concerned, as part of the investigation, it's two parts. The first part of the investigation is always going to be to identify and apprehend the suspect. The second part of the investigation is a lot of the whys and a lot of the details. That's still a part of the investigation. I can tell you that we have no reason to believe that there was any known association between our suspect and our victims. There's nothing to indicate that at all. It appears to be a completely random event. As far as the weapon that was used, it was a knife. Our victims died by stab wounds. Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Colonel. We've spoken to a few parents from students who he was their teacher in different states, and they all kind of gave this synopsis of perhaps he was a predator. Their children felt like he preyed on younger age girls during his time teaching in those states. We were wondering.
This news anchor is this journalist is asking about all of the parents of the schools where he worked prior and if they think that he could be a predator.
Have you been exploring any connections to the crimes that McGhann may have been connected with, and any indication that this was his first time committing this? Was he after those girls? Were those his target?
From what we know right now, we have no indication to suggest that the girls were his target.
This was his first time, but he just went to that park that one time that day. I heard potentially somebody suspicious could have been there the weekend before. Was he just that first time at the park, or do you think he was laying out and calculating?
Honestly, that would be pure speculation on my part. Now that we have our suspect in custody, there's going to be a part of the investigation that's going to go back, and they're going to look at timelines, and they're going to look at kind of his movements leading up to that. And hopefully that will give us all a better picture of why he did this, how long he had planned this, things like that. But right now, that's all part of the investigation, and it would simply be speculation on our part.
I believe he was injured as well. Can you elaborate on that during the attacks?
Yes, he was injured. I do not know.
I got you, FarQ. If we have trouble hearing, I can boost it some. Some of them you can hear better than others, but I'll keep an eye out and I'll boost it if we can't hear it good. No problem.
Know the specifics of those injuries. I do know that his injuries resulted in blood loss, and it was that blood loss that allowed us to establish a DNA profile to begin with, and it was that DNA profile that was matched today against our suspect.
I would assume that's any loving parent trying to do whatever they could to protect their loved ones.
Absolutely. I would say you're correct. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned some articles found in the house. What was found?
Stacey.
So if you'll remember the photo that was of the back of our suspect, we did find items that were consistent with what was seen in that photograph.
Was the weapon there?
Well, we don't know that it's the weapon, but we did collect some knives from the residence. We won't know until we test it, obviously.
The arrest itself, did he resist? Was he easygoing? What did that look like?
No, he was completely cooperative.
Can you speak on the terrain, the area that the victims were found in regards to the girls getting to safety to get help? What kind of time frame that would look like for two girls? Was it a rough terrain? Was it something that another person found them within an hour? Or can you speak on that?
So I don't know that we can speak on to the time frame, but the terrain was what you would see in a typical park. I don't know that it was particularly rugged, but it had some inclines. It was fairly maintained, but it was, our estimation was about a half a mile into the park. So you can imagine how long that would take to get out.
One more question. We had heard reports. Can you confirm that the father was stabbed first, the mother took the kids back into the car for safety, went back to help her husband, and then she died too?
So the information that we have is that the husband was attacked first.
I did listen to an interview from the 911 dispatcher, and I was kind of upset that she put so much out there, and I didn't even know if it was for sure her, but last night when at the end of the press conference, they said that they were upset because a podcaster had been having interviews and things that they didn't want to put out there. So that does lead me to believe that it really was her and it was true what she said. And she said that the father was stabbed in the chest first. Let me see what other notes I have from her. I took notes about what she said because I wasn't sure if I would even speak on it, and I for sure wasn't going to play it. I didn't feel that it was right. But she also said that the kids heard the mother ask, "Why are you doing this?" And that really hit me too, if that's true. But what I was telling you guys, I heard on one newscast that the mother took the children back to the car and then went to help the father again. But that's what she's about to speak on here.
The mother did not return all the way to the car with the kids. We believe that the mother took them to safety and then returned to help her husband.
And I know you all said that the suspect, I believe, indicated that he had committed these acts. Any more specifics on what he may have said since his arrest?
We're not going to comment on that at this point. It wouldn't be fair to the continuing investigation.
And then I assume this would be for maybe more the prosecuting attorney, but do you know yet if you'll pursue the death penalty in this case or what kind of consequences you might seek?
This case certainly has the aggravators that exist where a jury should get to decide what the punishment for this defendant is. It is my intention to pose that to a jury. So the state will not be waiving the death penalty in this case.
The family member said that they want you to seek the death penalty.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Did he indicate he plans to plead guilty to this?
Defendant's innocent until proven guilty at arraignment. I anticipate he will plead not guilty, as is custom. I don't know that there's a defense attorney in the United States of America that would allow a defendant to appear at their first appearance and plead guilty. So it is much, much too early to visit about that.
Has he indicated he's going to seek a public defender, has a private attorney or anything like that?
I'm not aware that a private attorney has been retained yet. If he can't afford a private attorney, I anticipate our local public defender's office will be appointed.
I know that y'all spoke that Devil's Den will be closed for the time being, but what about other state parks and the concerns of family and tourists?
Yeah, as far as the question of the state parks being open, I would ask that you send that to Secretary Shea Lewis and his team. I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know what the decision is on that at this point. As far as the safety of our public visiting those state parks, I would say it's absolute as it can be. I mean, it's not like we have a pattern of people being assaulted or attacked in our state parks. You're probably much more likely to be assaulted getting gas at a convenience store on the way home if you look at statistics. So to echo the prosecutor's comments, I would not hesitate to go to a state park today.
I know you're still looking into it, Stacy, but have you found any more information about background? Last night, you recently moved to Springdale area. Do you have more information you can share? And just before we left Springdale School District, what else can you tell us?
So, I don't have a whole lot. Some of that we will look into. I can just tell you that we found that he lived in Texas and also Oklahoma and had recently moved here and had taken employment as a teacher. It doesn't sound like he was ever an actual teacher in Arkansas, but that he was a teacher in other locations. Right now we're completely focused on our case here, and we haven't explored any of that background investigation. I fully expect that other jurisdictions will probably reach out to us to see if they have if there are cases throughout the U.S. that may be connected to him. I fully expect that.
But as of right now, he's the only suspect. He's not a suspect in any other incidents here in our area.
That's correct. Not that we've been made aware of. That's for sure.
Recently, moved here a few weeks ago, a few months.
I believe it's been a few months. Yes, sir.
Major, can you clarify? You say he made statements indicating that he had killed them. Did he flat out confess, or what exactly did he say?
So I was not actually in the room when he was confession, so I'm not going to speak to, I certainly don't want to get that wrong, but just know that he did indicate that he had committed the murders.
Would you I guess, would you call it a confession, or you don't know for sure?
I would call it an admission.
Does the suspect have any sort of criminal history that you all know of?
What's the difference between a confession and an admission? She wanted to clarify that, so I'm not really for sure. I'm going to have to look into that.
No, he did not.
No
Not
criminal
any adult criminal
history.
history that we've been able to find, for sure.
Did he indicate why Springdale's not that far from the state park? Any indication why he, for 5 days, stayed so close to the scene, or was he planning on fleeing the area or the state at some point?
There was no indication that he was going to flee the area. He actually had a residence in Springdale, so that's why he was in the area. But he gave it doesn't sound like he was making any attempts to conceal. He didn't conceal his car or any of those things. Yes, ma'am?
Any history of mental illness?
Not that we know. We're still exploring. We just took him into custody last night, so we're still, vetting a lot of the information that we don't know about him to this point.
How did police pinpoint him at the barber shop?
Good old-fashioned police work.
Was there any technology used or that aided in the investigation?
Absolutely.
Can you elaborate on that? Like, were there any license plate readers or anything that gave a tip to where he was at that point in time? Or?
I'll just say this, that there's rarely a case that we work that doesn't include those types of things, so we used everything. When I say that it was all hands on deck and there was no stone left unturned, it involved all of those technological aspects.
With the high volume of tips that came in, can you elaborate on how you sort of knew which ones to look into?
So we had a really good filtering system, and we are aware initially there were some issues with tips and the phone system that we had in place at that time. Once we implemented the tips line,
That Tony fella with the channel that did the interviews, he said that their tip line, nobody could call in for 3 days. 3 days that people had tried to call into the tip line and it wasn't working. That's crazy too.
we had a team around the clock filtering through those, and we had a pretty good matrix of the ones that we would push to the top and the ones that we would term a lower priority. So it's, but most of, if we got indication that it involved video, photographs, a first-hand account at the park, those were our priorities.
And I understand that every case is different, but you, for many years, investigated the worst crimes. Is this typical of a random crime like this, and a person goes back and gets a haircut in the same car?
Nothing about this case is what I would call conventional. In my 27 years that I've been with the state police, this is probably one of the most heinous that we've had, especially the aspect of just how random it was. It's when we were talking last night in the command center that it was every agent's worst nightmare, because in a typical investigation we use what we call victimology, and you can usually kind of pinpoint something that a victim has done or the circumstances they're in, whether it's a domestic violence or just drug related. You can typically narrow down your suspect pool. We had no way to do that in this case, so it made it particularly difficult.
Oh man, that's a really good point too, because like she said, if it's a domestic related crime or robbery, or if a person a lot of times, unfortunately, we see that a lot of the victims are involved in sex work or things like that. And these victims absolutely were none of that. It was absolutely random, she's saying. So that would be really, really hard to find a suspect like that, too, like she's saying.
Difficult, and what makes the work by our agents so extraordinary. Yes, ma'am.
Was the suspect trying to change his identity at all?
We don't have any indication that he was doing that. You know, he was obviously getting a haircut, but you could chalk that up to school starts next week. So, but he didn't indicate he was trying to alter that I'm aware of, that he was trying to alter his identity.
And you all mentioned that he was cooperative when you got to the barber shop. Any other initial reaction from him when you all showed up? Anything you could tell us?
That's probably best that I not discuss that so early in the investigation to this point.
Can you speak on the role of social media in helping bring about the arrest of the suspect?
I will say that social media did nothing to help our investigation. I would say that it absolutely hindered our investigation. As you heard.
Oh, wow, you guys, this is when I had to leave a little bit before this to start my stream, so I missed this. But she's saying that it absolutely hindered this investigation. That's interesting.
The Colonel mentioned the hurt and the hurt and the just the emotional toil that social media gave to that family. It's so easy to be that keyboard warrior and question everything that law enforcement is doing. And I would just simply say that let us do our job. If you've got a tip, give it to us. Don't spread it on social media unless you're an expert. And if you're an expert, you're probably not on social media.
One of the first details that you'll put out about the car was there's tape covering the license plate. Was that the case with his vehicle, and any reason why? Was he trying intentionally to cover up the license plate?
Yes, he did use tape to conceal some of the things that would help identify his vehicle. Yes, ma'am.
Does that lead you to believe at all that he's done this before?
There are indications. I mean, you know, everyone speculates that he took there was a lot of thought that went into this to conceal his identity. I will say that, but on the other side of that, he was also very sloppy. So whether he committed something else, we don't know, but we are certainly going to explore that.
How long between when you determined that he was the suspect that you were looking for and when you made the arrest? How long did that take?
Within the hour.
Oh, wow.
How long between when he began questioning until he confessed?
I don't know that, I'm sorry.
I think we're just going to take a couple more questions. Anyone else?
Can you speak on which agencies and how many officers that were involved?
Oh, so in any agency that I missed, the Colonel may have included this. I can tell you that the FBI was instrumental, the Washington County Sheriff's Office, the Fayetteville Police Department, just about every agency up there, the Benton County Sheriff's Office with their flock cameras, the Park Service, the Game and Fish. Who am I leaving out? Springdale, absolutely instrumental. They had a detective embedded with us from the very beginning, and anybody else? And just dozens of detectives that were all hands on deck, working round the clock to make sure that we made an arrest. The community deserved that, and that's what we gave them.
And moving forward, the different agencies in supporting these kids, I mean, loss of both of their parents, if there's anything that you want to touch on with that.
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
I said moving forward and supporting the kids after the loss of their parents, like if there's anything that you want to say on that with the different agencies that were involved.
Colonel, you probably better answer that question.
I'm not sure if I understood the question exactly, but I can tell you that Governor Sanders has been in contact with the family multiple times. She's expressed the absolute heartbreak of the state, the support and the prayers that that family will receive, not only from her and her family, but from the state of Arkansas. In addition to that, she's made available any resource that that family needs during this recovery process from state agencies, whether that be law enforcement or other type of support agencies. I can also tell you from someone myself that has spoken with the family multiple times, they're an incredibly strong family, and they have a very, very strong family support in place.
Oh, that's wonderful, you guys. I'm always worried that the victims that are left behind, I'm always worried, and especially children, I'm always worried that they might not have a very good support system, but he's saying that they have a great one, so that's really, really good.
I have no doubt that those three girls are going to be well taken care of, and they're going to get
Oh,
everything they need from
great.
that family. And they also know that if they have a need that we can assist with, we being the state of Arkansas, any type of state public entity, then we will absolutely do that.
Lastly, I know while the investigation is ongoing, you're conducting an internal review. We'll see could things be done better when it comes to call transfers and information being released. Am I correct? Can you talk to me about that?
Yes, we will always, after any significant incident, we'll debrief it, and we'll look at what we did right, what we did wrong, what we could do better. I can tell you from our vantage point right now, it's hard for me to be critical of anything that our investigators did. They have, you know this, I know these guys, I know our capabilities, but you forget, honestly, until you see it play out, you see the level of expertise and skill. Cannot say enough about our investigators, and not only the skill set that they use to bring this suspect to justice, but just they put everything into it, their heart and soul. I mean, it was an impressive thing to watch, and so of what we could do better, I'm sure there'll be things. Y'all have heard me say it before. Our agency is comprised of human beings, and we're always going to make mistakes, and there's going to be things that we can fine tune. But from my vantage point right now, I have nothing but gratitude and respect for our investigators and the way this was handled.
Carl, one more question. Can you confirm when you spoke to him after the arrest that this was not, he didn't know them, he didn't know the family at all, this was just a pure accidental coincidence that he targeted them?
I can confirm that, and again, as Major Rhodes said, I was not present for the interview, and I've not listened to the interview yet. But I can confirm that we have absolutely no indication, no reason whatsoever to believe that there was any connection at all between our suspect and our victims.
I've got one more. Can you elaborate on the role that the FBI and federal law enforcement held in the investigation?
Yeah, so the first thing I can tell you is how blessed we are with their partnership. The prosecutor and the major both mentioned.
I want to show you guys this right fast that I found. This is when he was, while they're booking him at the Washington County Jail. See, he looks so much skinnier there than the back of him that we saw. To me, he does. Sorry guys, my mouse fell. It fell off my desk. To think that he just looks like a kid to me. To think that he could do something so atrociously abhorrent. We shouldn't really give him all that credit though. Mm-mm-mm. I think that that's really all that I have about that case, you guys. I will. I know I totally had a buttermilk. I have a little. It's a lap desk that I set up on my bed, you guys, because if I sit at my desk, I have to use my wheelchair, and my wheelchair is uncomfortable. I've been thinking about what kind of desk chair I can get me that'll be comfortable, but otherwise, I have this lap desk on my bed. I'll have to show you guys a picture of it, and well, what's playing? Something's playing, guys. Tony Bruschi was playing in my ear, but it fell off my desk. It did. Oh my goodness. I think that that's all that I have about this case for you guys today. I will definitely keep up with it though, and hopefully the next thing that we hear is that he is, "Hey, Grateful, how are you? It's good to see you." I have to take a picture and show you guys how it fell. Oh my goodness. Oh guys, but now we can yeah, hopefully the next thing that we hear about is that he is pleading guilty. Um but now I can tell you guys the best part of my lives is the good endings. And today I have a really really good one. A uh a 3-year-old baby. It was on May 15th of this year. His name is TJ Thompson. And he was at the Enclave Apartments in Silver Spring. I think that it is this was a few months ago, and he just turned 3, so he was a 2.5 or something like that. And he lives with his mama and her wife, but he was visiting his biological mom and her mom, I think. But he ended up falling 15 stories, you guys. That is 150 feet. He fell off a balcony, and yeah, 150 feet off the ground. I have in my notes, and he lived, you guys. They actually say that he is still having problems, but for him to not have as many, I mean, he definitely, you would think, would have more problems than that. I will show you guys this. Let me come back. So this is Montgomery County Department of Police. It says Friday, May 16th, Gaithersburg, Maryland. Detectives from the Montgomery County Department of Police Special Victims Investigation Division are investigating an incident involving a 2-year-old who fell from the 15th floor of an apartment building in the 11200 block of Oakleaf Drive in White Oak on Thursday, May 15th at approximately 2:11 p.m. Montgomery County 3rd District officers and fire and rescue personnel responded to the location and located a 2-year-old boy who had reportedly fallen from a balcony and landed in the bushes 15 stories below. The child was transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. According to the medical staff, the child's injuries include a broken leg and multiple internal injuries, but he is expected to survive. No criminal charges have been filed at this time. Detectives are continuing to investigate what factors contributed to this fall. And it says anyone with information regarding this case is asked to visit the Crime Solvers of Montgomery County, Maryland website. Oh man, you guys, I was sharing the wrong tab. Oh my goodness, I'm a mess, you guys. I am a mess. But so I have a video of him now. They still haven't filed any criminal charges. But I do have a video of him. Let me see here. Of an update about him. So I'll play that for you guys and then I'll let you guys go. I've kept you guys a long time today. 15 stories. And I think in one video I watched, they actually show the bush that he landed in. I know, guys, that it is a complete miracle, an absolute miracle. That's why the folder that I put all of these stories in, I think I named it Must Be a Miracle or something like that, because it absolutely is.
5 exclusive. For the first time, we are seeing the little boy many are calling a miracle child.
He's the 2-year-old Maryland toddler who fell 15 stories from a high-rise balcony and survived. Fox 5's Bob Arnott is live in Silver Spring with this heartwarming update that you'll see on just one station. Bob?
Hey there, Shamari. This is a story I've wanted to follow up on for a couple of months now. These are the Enclave apartments here in Silver Spring, and it was from a 15th floor balcony that TJ Thompson fell to the ground 2 months ago and survived. In the comforting arms of his grandmother, Janelle, TJ Thompson is learning to walk again.
We're just grateful to have him still with us.
Just about 2 months since he nearly died in a harrowing fall, few ever survived to see another day.
It's literally a miracle what happened with TJ.
TJ will turn 3 at the end of the month, lives with his paternal grandmother and her wife, Whitley Thompson, in Prince Frederick in Calvert County.
Honestly, he hasn't missed a beat. Especially now that he's like out of his cast, hasn't missed a beat. Still the same, energetic, loving, sweet little boy.
TJ was visiting his mother and maternal grandmother at the Enclave Apartments May 5th.
Yeah, so he lives with his dad's mom and her wife, but he was visiting with his paternal mother and her mother. Doesn't that just make your stomach drop just looking up this way? And then that baby fell 15 stories. Oh my goodness.
When that afternoon he fell from their 15th floor balcony, landing in this bush, and lived.
He flattened that bush. So to see that and to see him, it's definitely God that saved him that day. And I'm so appreciative. So appreciative.
We're not sure how he got over the protective glass on the balcony.
When it first happened, he was having night terrors. So he'd wake up and say little things.
Oh, bless him. You guys know when you fall asleep and then you jerk yourself awake because you feel like you're falling? I bet he does have little nightmares like that. Bless his little heart. I hope that, I know that they think that when you're that young, you won't remember things, but I remember some things before I turned 3 years old, so he might. I hope that they get him some kind of play therapy or something like that, because that would bother us, and we're adults, you know?
They're remembering like a fall bush or fall balcony, but he hasn't really been saying that lately as much when during his sleep. And the first couple of weeks was rough.
TJ suffered a broken femur, lacerated liver, bruised lungs, and torn ligaments in his neck. This X-ray shows the screws helping his bones to heal.
The first week, I cried every day. It was very heartbreaking.
Bless him, you guys. Torn ligaments in his neck. That just hurts my neck. Oh my gosh, you guys. I was complaining when we started this live how my neck was bothering me yesterday. And just imagine, I'm sure that was nothing compared to how his little neck feels. You know, they might get him some chiropractor or some massage or something like that. That might help his little neck too.
A shot to the heart.
He just got his cast off last week and will need some physical therapy.
He just don't understand why he can't walk like he used to or get down and play like he used to. But everything else, still singing, still opinionated.
Tonight, a frightening scene in Silver Spring, Maryland.
TJ's story made the national news when it happened.
I'm stronger. I'm wiser.
And in the week since, Janelle and Whitley created this Instagram reel to share the story with friends and family.
It's like they speak in their own language.
He loves calling out to his baby sister, 1-year-old Star. The story they'll...
Aww. I'm glad they have each other. Bless them.
...will get to share the rest of their lives is certainly priceless.
I have people ask me all the time how TJ's doing. He's doing great. Like I say, he's definitely had his angels with him.
He is definitely, he's a miracle baby. He's a miracle boy. And I thank God for that.
Now, Montgomery County Police investigated TJ's fall and ultimately decided no charges would be filed. Guys?
That was, you guys saw how, I don't think that he could have made it over that balcony by himself. There had to be some kind of chair or something there. I have to have faith that they're checking everything out really, really well. Grateful says 100 the body remembers too. Yeah, even if he was too young in his mind to remember, which I don't think he is, but you're absolutely right, his body would remember too. So that was the good story that I wanted to end on with you guys today, but I did want to show you guys this one more time that he is on the Austin Robert Drummond, 28 years old, male, white, 5 feet 10 inches tall, 190 pounds, blue eyes, and blonde hair. He is wanted in Tennessee for 4 counts of homicide and for also kidnapping the little 7-month-old that was left on the lawn a few days ago. That could have been one of our good endings too, because 99 degrees outside, you guys, that is an absolute miracle that somebody saw her being left on the lawn too, because what if she was stuck out there for who knows how long? That's an absolute miracle too. So like I said, I told you guys on my community tab, I do have the information for this individual, if you could share that too. And I left the link to the Dyer County Sheriff's Office there too, so you guys can check for updates. But I'll try to keep us updated about him. Hopefully that this story ends like the one we just spoke about, and somebody finds him and reports him, and he goes in peacefully and gives himself up peacefully like we just saw. So I think that that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so very much for coming to hang out with me today. It really, really means a whole lot. If you guys have any other stories or information that I can use my little platform to spread awareness about, I do not care a bit, you guys. That's my email. And also, if you would like to be in my Discord, that we have a Trista leaves a devotional for us each day in there, and you can also, and we talk about our animals and cases and stuff like that. This is her channel. You can go there and subscribe, and hopefully you'll start getting her posts. She leaves the same things in her community posts each day that she shares with us there. And this is Van's channel. She was in here earlier. I'm gonna have to check on her because it was storming, but please subscribe to her too. Thanks, guys. Thank you so very much. I try to do the best that I can, and I appreciate you all coming to hang out with me today. And don't forget to stay hydrated right now, especially, and take your vitamins and say your prayers. And I'll